Hello, thank you for joining us on Nationwide. I'm Ruela. The federal government introduced initiatives designed to improve and sustain food security across the country. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, says these initiatives will involve partnerships with financial institutions to offer support to smallholder farmers. Musa Baba Aliyu will tell us more.
The current population of Nigeria was put at 235,151,095 as of Saturday, January 5, 2025, based on the odometer of the United Nations. This reflects a growth of 2.08% from the 2024 figure of 232,679,478. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, stated that current administration is aware of the implications of population growth and is implementing measures to enhance food availability.
Nigeria's population is expected to be 400 million people by 2050. But what we need to do, research in good seed, shorten cultivation period, drought-resistant crops, heat-resistant crops, and also do all year-round farming. This is something that we're looking into.
Among the initiatives aimed at strengthening the nation's food security are the promotion of environmentally friendly farming practices, identification of new strategies to encourage sustainable agriculture, and the provision of advanced equipment to improve agricultural productivity.
We recognize we have smallholder farmers, we have family farms, we also have medium holding farmers, we also have industrial. So all of these, we are trying to properly define them to enable us target them for intervention.
The government also introduced measures to enhance food distribution systems, ensuring vulnerable communities have access to nutritious food through various community programs. Additionally, heavy machinery, including tractors, will be distributed nationwide to assist farmers in expanding their cultivation areas.
Mr. President has given us approval for 3 different mechanization programs. One is the John Deere, with John Deere Tata Africa, that seeks to supply 2,000 tractors every year for the next 5 years.
The agricultural sector required partnership, and we recognize this also. We are providing that, space for the ecosystem to grow in terms of our partnership with our development partners, and most importantly with the subnationals, the state. And you might recall that many of the state governors had visited us because of that.
President Bola Tinubu has approved the distribution of farming input for dry season farming across the country. The first batch of the beneficiaries are wheat farmers from 16 states who are receiving a 70% subsidy on all necessary input for the crop cultivation. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The new year being a blank page, waiting for the ink of our dreams, plans and aspirations, needs the imprint of people to step forward with hope, embrace growth and savor every moment as we try to make the best of the year. A life coach, Mr. Samuel Chukwu, was in our studio earlier to give us a breakdown on how we should start the year on a strong footing. Here's an excerpt.
When we're talking backstage, I have a public speaking business, and I noticed that yes, I will need a lot of capital. But what are the things I can do? I can plan. I can plan without capital. I could reach out to people without capital. You could start with the things that you can. And there's something spiritual about planning, I've noticed. More often than not, because there's a God that controls the universe. When you start with what you have, He will propel you to certain people, certain resources, certain things that would meet you. But if you do not take that first move, you will not meet those people. Another thing I would like to note is this. Those who spend an inordinate amount of time focusing on the things they cannot control are only preparing for frustration in of indecision. So you must spend time focusing on what you can control and trusting in God that the things that are not within your control would align in your favor.
Now you have a glimpse of how to start the year strong. To other issues, contrary to speculations, prices of commodities, particularly food items, have remained stable during the Christmas and New Year celebrations, even as commercial activities pick up after Yuletide. We're talking now in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State Capital. Clement Bariki will tell us more.
At the beginning of last quarter of 2024, most commodities, particularly foodstuff, witnessed skyrocketing hikes in prices, raising fears among many Nigerians in Uyo about what will become of the goods during the Yuletide. With the celebrations over and businesses picking up again in Uyo metropolis, residents are happy the prices of goods, including the premium motor spirit, were not as they had feared.
We appreciate what the government is doing, and more is still expected in that direction. At least for sustaining the price at that level.
When we thank God for the price that has come down, I hope it should continue to come down, at least to the level of where things will be normalized.
No market the last year, December, people are not selling.
After Christmas, we don't finish season. Even this year, season not as it used to be.
Among dealers on back-to-school items, sales were not as expected, given that this is not a fresh school session.
For now, parents not started coming for now. I have not seen any parents except those that came to pick few things, mainly for practical.
There is no money. If to say money, parents could start buying something.
Meanwhile, the Akwa Ibom State government is continuing in its effort to remodel public schools in the state to complement its free and compulsory education policy. Clement Barikui, NTA News.
Well, to speak further on the post-Yuletide economic situation in Uyo, we have our correspondent, Clement Bariki, joining us live now to tell us the update going by what we've just seen from the report. Clement, if you can hear me, please go ahead.
All right, thank you so much. The 2024 Christmas and New Year celebrations among residents of Uyo here could be described surprise one. Surprise was when compared with what happened in previous years. We recall that every year during this season, there is always high cost of commodities, particularly food items, and so many were expecting similar thing to happen in 2024. Particularly looking at the fact that at the last quarter of that year, there were high cost of commodities, prices of most things, particularly foodstuffs, were increasing by the day. But to the surprise of many, the prices of those foodstuffs became stable during the Yuletide. Many are tracing this to the stability in the price of fuel. Fuel right now is sold between 999 naira and 1,070 naira. And in fact, many filling stations are even adjusting their meters to reduce the price. And this has never happened during the Yuletide. Prices of commodities, including fuel, are always on the high side. But in 2024, the prices were stable, and then many were so happy and hoping that this will continue, and even to a point of reducing in prices so that it will help to alleviate their sufferings.
So much, Clement, for that update. I'm sure residents of Uyo will be smiling to the market. And from Uyo, we'll cross over to Lagos State, where the state government has promised to intensify efforts towards implementing the Lagos State electricity law. Now, this is to unbundle the electricity value chain and deliver reliable and affordable power to homes and business places. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu stated this at the state government's 2025 annual Thanksgiving. Joy Ken Akpabola reports.
The annual Thanksgiving of the Lagos State Government is organized by its Ministry of Home Affairs to appreciate God for the past year and pray for a successful new year.
Sing to the Lord a new song, for he has done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm have worked salvation for him.
The wicked will be silenced in the place of darkness.
Who will bring any charge against those whom God has chosen? It is God who justifies.
Reeling out the state government's achievement last year, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu assures Lagos residents of enhanced peace, security, and socio-economic prosperity in 2025.
We must continue to make it clear that it is work not only for Mr. President, not only for the federal government, but it's for everybody, for all of us at subnational and in all levels of government, that we have to look at what we need to do. We've got a lot of work and responsibility to do to ensure that the dividends of democracy touches every nook and cranny of our nation and, of course, of our state. In Lagos State, we are very mindful of the shared responsibility, and we will redouble our efforts in every sector.
Tagged Harvest of Thanksgiving, the prayer session featured special prayers for President Bola Tinubu, Nigeria, Lagos State and its leaders, as well as the world at large. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakuya, NTA News.
In other news, INEC says it is not contemplating destroying more than 6 million uncollected permanent voters' cards going back to the 2015 voter registration. The Commission was reacting to a report by a national daily that there are plans to destroy the uncollected cards. The Commission, in a post via its verified X handle, called on the public to disregard the report. We head to Lagos now, where we join Jennifer Igwe for our next set of reports. Hello, Jennifer. Compliments of the season.
Ruth. Now, Nigerian Air Force has taken delivery of 12 new platforms to support the fight against all forms of criminality in its theater of operation. This came to the fore at the Chief of Air Staff parley with veterans of the service as part of activities to herald the 2025 Armed Forces and Remembrance. Diana Ajale reports.
They were once vibrant officers and gentlemen of the Nigerian Air Force who put in the best of their years to defend the nation's airspace. Most of them still have the know-how that the service can maximize to fight terrorism. This is why the Chief of Air Staff is desirous to seek their support and expertise to better reposition the force and also give these veterans a sense of belonging to contribute to the growth of the service and defense of the nation.
If you make that place good enough, you will come and
the Air Chief, who was represented by the Air Secretary, Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Ahmed Bakari, described the veterans as encyclopedia of ideas. He announced that the Nigerian Air Force has plans to acquire additional 50 platforms between January this year and 2026 to boost its air power and improve in its fight against terrorism.
We have re-engaged some of them, especially in the areas of aircraft maintenance. You see, these are skills that it takes a long time to build a man to acquire expertise in this area. And you are still flying those machines, but it dictates demand that the man has to leave after a certain time. So you still need him to come in, and we have them not just only actively partaking in maintenance of our platforms, but equally providing that mentorship.
The veterans were engaged in health talks, strategies for useful business ventures, as well as skills to improve their income in Lagos. Diana Ajale, NTA News.
From the Air Force, we go to first aid. Now, did you know that it's possible to save a life by simply having a person sit down, lean their head forward, pinch their nostrils closed with your thumb and index finger for at least 5 minutes? Yes, the act at first aid is a right between the moment a medical incident occurs and when skilled medical assistance is available. Adejoke Odeka completes the story.
Every year, people die in Nigeria from lack of basic first aid treatment. Are citizens aware of what first aid is and its importance?
And we even advise people should have first aid box in their house. I don't think my children should wound now. I will be rushing them to the hospital. What about if the hospital distance is too far to my house?
Like yesterday, motor hit someone here yesterday. So we did about 4 people rushed the person to this pharmacy here. So that's what we call first aid. Yeah. It's very important.
Learning life-saving skills such as performing CPR, clearing an obstructed airway, preventing infection in an open wound, amongst others, safety practitioners say is pivotal in saving lives.
First aid is that skilled application of attention, assistance to somebody who's suddenly injured or has an illness. And if there's no first aid within the first 4 golden minutes of this incident, this person may be compromised, this person may be lost, and this person may have their recovery impaired.
The first things that you're supposed to know in first aid treatment is, number one, it's very important that you know how to actually manage wounds.
Although it is no doubt that thousands of people die yearly owing to delay or failure to administer first aid, organizations and humanitarians are intensifying advocacy to get more people to learn first aid skills, which would result to confidence when trying to save a life. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
Thank you, Joke. First aid is important and we all need to learn. Now, those are the reports from Lagos. Waidam Abubakar in Maiduguri will give us the next set of reports when we return from the break. Stay tuned.
NTA say thank you to all our viewers. NTA say thank you. A good TV station means different things to different people. What made NTA stand out for you in 2024?
Babu shakka, babu wani gidan talabijin a ƙasar nan da ke nuna al'adu kamar yadda gidan talabijin na ƙasa wato NTA ke nuna.
Kò sí ibikíbi tí ẹ wà ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tí ẹ ò ti lè wo ilé-iṣẹ́ tẹlifíṣàn ìjọba àpapọ̀ NTA kétékété kódà tó fi di abúlé wa.
Standard NTA Bataruru Okopa Okadigun Okoko now NTA Kalisi Akali.
Information, outstanding performance, NTA got the Steve.
For decades, we've towered high with sponsors as partners and viewers as pillars. And as we bid 2024 farewell, we welcome you to a superlative 2025 because at NTA, you can't beat the reach. Oh, NTA say thank you.
Prospects for ministries, departments, and agencies on the table for discussions on NTA Tuesday Live. Ministries of Agriculture and Food Security, Digital Economy, Security, and Economy in focus on NTA Tuesday Live coming up on the 7th of January 2025. Tuesday Live.
For joining us in Maiduguri. Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has unfolded plans to resettle more displaced communities and provision of developmental projects in Bama local government area. The governor revealed plans for the area following assessment visit to Abaram, a ravaged village preparatory to its resettlement. Muhammad Goni reports.
Though it is about 7 kilometers away from Bama Township, the trip to Abaram was by no means an easy task, as the entourage had to traverse thick shrubs, being the first visitors to the ravaged settlement in over a decade. Determined to restore the lost glory of Abaram and other displaced communities, and having considered the magnitude of the destruction and the volume of work that needs to be done, Governor Zulum considered alternative measures to resettle Abaram, including construction of thousands of temporary shelters to resettle the returnees while the village is being rebuilt.
We hope to close one of the biggest IDP camps in Borno State, which is Bama IDP camp. And that will be a game changer, because it's no longer sustainable for us to continue to keep people at the IDP camps.
During courtesy visit on the show of Bama, Umar Ibn Kari Ibrahim El Kanemi, Governor Zulum intimated the royal father and other stakeholders of the area of his commitment to resettle more communities. He also announced plans to reconstruct Bama Township road network, build ICT center, and provision of waterworks, which will be reticulated to other parts of Bama Township. Shehu of Bama, Umar Ibn Kari Ibrahim El Kanemi, appreciated Governor Zulum's continued effort at resettling more communities and resuscitation of means of livelihood of the people across the state. At Dara Jamal village, where rebuilding work of 75 houses has reached advanced stage of completion, with 25 others expected to come up in earnest, Governor Zulum, who was conducted around by the chairman of the Reconstruction and Resettlement Committee, Laan Abawo Kilbe, to assess progress of work, expressed satisfaction with the progress of the construction work. He directed the chairman to commence block molding at Bala Yobe to rebuild the community, adding that more displaced towns and villages along the axis that include Bula Kuri and Kumshe, among others, will be resettled. In Maiduguri, Mohamed Goni.
Borno State government has subsidized sale of petrol to farmers in communities affected by Boko Haram insurgency in Bama local government. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum announced the subsidy in Bama town when he flagged off the distribution of farm inputs to over 5,000 farmers hitherto displaced by Boko Haram insurgents. Again, Mohamed Goni has details.
Farm inputs distributed to farmers in the area include 2,000 bags of NPK blended fertilizer, 1,000 units each of water pumps and sprayers, 620 gasoline pumps. Other materials distributed include 380 units of solar water pumps, 800 rolls of 2-inch flexible hose, and 1,000 liters of pesticides and seeds, among others.
The liter of petrol is being sold in Maiduguri at a cost of about 1,200 naira. But inshallah, henceforth, for irrigation farmers, for this farming season, a liter of petrol will be sold at the rate of 600 naira.
Governor Zulum emphasized that a similar initiative implemented in Damasak, Mobile local government area last year has significantly increased food production and improved livelihoods. The governor added that his administration has constructed over 100 tube wells for use by irrigation farmers, while also announcing approval for construction of additional 250. Shehu Obama Umar Ibn Kari Ibrahim El Kanemi appreciated the state authorities for the continued support to the resettled residents of Bama and other communities in his emirate and beyond.
The people of Bama, inshallah, will continue to support you and your administration, inshallah.
Meanwhile, the governor also visited Goniri village, another community overrun by the insurgents in Bama local government area, to assess the devastation preparatory to commencement of reconstruction. In Maiduguri, Mohamed Goni, NTA News.
And that is our contribution from Maiduguri. It is back to you, Ruth, in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide. It's good to see you. Good evening.
It's good to see you too, Wadam. An unspecified number of persons were reported to have lost their lives following a petroleum tank explosion which occurred yesterday in Agbo town, Delta State. Well, eyewitnesses said the incident occurred along the old Lagos-Asaba road after the tank was reportedly carrying petrol. Now, the inferno is reported to have resulted in a traffic gridlock, paralyzing movement of vehicles in the metropolis. Our correspondent, Ngozi, joins us now from Agbo live to give us an update of the traffic situation. Ngozi, please go ahead.
Okay, Good afternoon, Ruth. Presently, we are at the scene of the incident where it happened yesterday. We're told by eyewitness reports that the truck failed brake, and he was trying to see how he could ensure that there won't be casualties, and at the end of the day he caught himself here. And a woman whose vehicle maybe was at the point where the truck was trying to leave, we're told, eyewitness, we're not here, that was yesterday, that the vehicle caught up with the truck, and at the end of the day the thing caught fire. But she was able to rescue some of her children, in fact all her children. We're told that she rescued all her children, but she came back to pick some of her belongings, and the fire caught up with her. But when we got here this morning, our story was the first news we got, that they lost her, that she's dead. Few seconds into that, the deputy governor came into the town here and went with him to see the family and other casualties. We also went to the central hospital where we met the CMD. He spoke off camera. He told us that 2 casualties, as in they referred 2 people out of the hospital because they don't have the facilities to ensure that they will maintain their lives. But they later discharged 2 other persons. The woman's children were safe. Nothing happened to them. But presently, as I speak to you, before now, we took shots of the properties that were destroyed. If you look behind me closely, you will see the truck itself, the carcass of the truck left. Maybe by 9 o'clock, we'll bring another update, or we'll send a report on some of the carcass of the other property that was lost. We're not sure of the number of people that lost their life, because it was just different people are telling us. Some person said 5, another said 4, but we are very sure of this particular woman. We are very sure. But presently, normalcy have returned to this area.
Okay, Ngozi, just before I let you go, it's very sad, regarding the woman who lost her life trying to save her family. But before I let you go, what about the State Emergency Agency? If you're not getting the right numbers of the persons who were
okay,
involved.
We came here since morning. We are yet to see any of them. Rather, we saw the police. The police have been here just to ensure that there is law and order. Then the road safety, they are also here to ensure that there is free flow of vehicular movement. There is traffic, that there is no traffic congestion. But we've not seen them and the others. We've not seen them, because we've been here since morning, monitoring the situation before bringing this update.
Right. Thank you, Ngozi. You've done your part. Let's wait and hope for the authorities to step in.
Thank you, too.
Thank you. Thank you. In other news, the Nigeria Police Force, in its commitment to ensure the safety and security of all Nigerians through proactive and intelligence-driven strategies, has recorded significant breakthrough in crime prevention. Francis Pham reports.
This is the first parade of suspects by the Nigeria Police Force in 2025. Among the suspects being paraded today is the 35-year-old member of a notorious armed robbery syndicate. The suspect was allegedly implicated in the death of CSP Hassan Jega, a divisional police officer in Delta State.
A more recent operation by the gang also led to the death of Inspector Friday Schreiber, an operative attached to IRT Intelligence Response Team. From them, we recovered 1 AK-47 rifle, 1 English pistol, 1 locally made pistol, ammunition of various calibers, and 6 exotic cars.
Similarly, police operatives in Plateau State have dismantled a child trafficking syndicate led by a pastor. The operation resulted in the rescue of 5 children and the arrest of the alleged suspects, who confessed to abducting and selling 13 children, all of whom have been recovered and reunited with their families.
Between April and November 2024, conspired with one Rita Agbu is a female of Karo in Abuja and abducted 8 children from their parents at different communities in Kanke and Bokos local government areas of Plateau State under the same mode of operation, and sold them to different buyers in Plateau State, Abia State, Enugu State, and Lagos State.
Additionally, in line with the Inspector General of Police directive to eliminate illicit arms in circulation, the IRT has successfully recovered 14 AK-47 rifles. These achievements, the Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi says, underscore the Nigeria Police Force dedication to combating crime and enhancing national security. Francis from NTA News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has departed Lagos for Accra, Ghana, to attend the inauguration of President-elect John Dramani Mahama, which is tomorrow, Tuesday. The president, who has been in Lagos for the Yule outbreak, took off from the Murtala Mohammed International Airport just a while ago. President Tinubu's trip to Accra is at the invitation of the president-elect, who had visited the Nigerian leader earlier in December. Mahama, who served as the 12th president of Ghana between 2011 and 2017, was re-elected in December 2024 to succeed President Nana Akufo-Addo. President Tinubu, as chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, will join other African leaders at the ceremony. Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumego Ojukwu, and other senior government officials will accompany President Tinubu on the trip. All right, our next stop will be Sokoto, where we join Sadia.
Glad to have you join us. In a significant crackdown on organized crime, the Sokoto State Police Command has successfully apprehended suspected syndicates involved in the theft of cars, motorcycles, tricycles, and transformer components in Sokoto State. The suspects were paraded before newsmen at the command headquarters in Sokoto, making another breakthrough in the fight against crime and ensuring safety of the citizens. Dalatu Abdullahi has more.
Reading the suspect, the police spokesman ASP Ahmed Rufai says in December last year, the command, through a coordinated operation by its strike force, raided notorious criminal hideouts and hotspots, resulting in the arrest of suspected serial thieves of motorcycle and tricycle, Aliyu Abubakar, Hassan Danjuma, and Hassan Abubakar at Lela, Mabera, and Central Motor Park. The 3 suspects, who hail from Kebbi State, were found in possession of a Toyota Fish Eye vehicle carrying various dangerous weapons.
This year, the Commissioner of Police and his management team has put a red alert on crime through his area commanders, tactical commanders, and division officers in the state. As critical partners in fight against crime, the police will accept any information that will be useful enough to help us in tackling crime and criminality.
Within the same period, vigilantes in Shagarilo government apprehended Abu Umar, Shafi'u Shehu, and Usman Abdullahi, who are residents of Kesoji and the Kajiji villages, allegedly in connection with criminal conspiracy, mischief, and theft. They were found in possession of a bunch of aluminum wires and conductors and confessed of selling the stolen items to Mantali Tukuru and Junaid Musa in Kajiji. The command also busts another case of criminal conspiracy and armed robbery reported by Aliyu Abubakar and the 2 others in Aliyu Jodo area, where the complainants accused Muhammad Sani aka Inda and Abdullahi Tijani attacking their shop watchman with cutlasses and iron rods. The suspects confessed to stealing 3 refrigerator compressors valued at 400,000 naira, which they sold, including 7 batteries of trailer and 2 block engines. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
As part of its Citizens Empowerment Initiative for Poverty Reduction, Self-Reliance and Economic Growth, the state government has flagged off sales 1,500 motorcycles and tricycles to the state's indigents at subsidized cost. Flagging off the exercise, the Deputy Governor Idris Muhammad Gobir urges the beneficiaries to reciprocate the gesture by fulfilling their part of obligation to the government towards achieving the set goals. Abdullahi Umar Ilalu has details.
A tricycle sold at 3,600,000 current market price is to be sold at 1 million naira with an initial repayment deposit of 150,000 naira and 15,000 naira monthly for a period of 5 years. On the other hand, a Bajaj motorcycle sold at 1,420,000 naira is subsidized to 300,000 naira and its initial repayment deposit stands at 50,000 naira with a monthly repayment of 10,000 naira for a period of 2 years.
It feels like it is given to us free of charge. We appreciate the governor for this noble gesture. This is a step towards being engaged for self-sustenance. It means a lot to our lives. We thank the governor.
Governor Ahmad Aliyu, represented, maintains that the gesture is aimed at improving intra-city transportation across the 23 local government areas in the state and by extension support the beneficiaries into meaningful ventures.
This gesture is meant to assist you in making your life and that of your family better.
Chairman Allocation and Distribution Committee Sahabi Isa Gada underscores significance of the gesture in uplifting living conditions of the lucky beneficiaries. The Commissioner, Ministry of Humanitarian and Disaster Management, Sokoto State, Asbebal Arabi, commended state government for the initiative. Sultanate Council, represented by Magajin Rafi Rilwanu Bello, appreciates Sokoto State government for the gesture and assured traditional institutions continued support to the government. Benji is the first out of the 23 local government areas in Sokoto State to benefit from the program. In Sokoto, Abdullah Omar Ilalu, NTA News.
And those are the news updates from Sokoto for now. Benin will be up next, but that will be right after the break. Do stay.
We would like to express our sincere gratitude for your continued support. From breaking news to heartwarming stories, we are committed to bringing you credible content and delivering captivating programs that keep you glued to your screens. Our team is committed to providing exceptional service to delight our clients. We say thank you to those who have supported us through the year, from government agencies to corporate clients, political parties, religious bodies, and, most importantly, our viewers. As we welcome the new year, we look ahead with a promise to bring you the best in broadcasting as we...
Welcome to Benin Network Center. Governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, has expressed satisfaction with the pace of work on Upper Ekenwa Road, a major link road in the metropolis, assuring of its timely completion. Godokenani reports that the governor also inspected the ongoing construction work on Benin Auchi Expressway.
The ongoing construction work on Upper Ekenwa Road is expected to address challenges faced by motorists and residents in accessing their destinations across Oredo, Ego, and their northeast local government areas. Amidst cheers from residents, the governor inspected ongoing construction work. He also inspected excavation of drains at Upper Ekenwa Road along the military cantonment to check menace of flooding. He is satisfied with the pace of work.
things are moving well and I'm happy. I just have to come and see whether they're actually working because I don't skip over this. Every time I'm thinking about this road and this job must be done.
The governor had earlier inspected the pace of work on the Benin-Ekpoma-Auchi Expressway by Obadan Junction in Iho, the local government area, the Upper Mission Extension and Ute-Kiwa Road, as well as associated drains and other projects. In Benin, good luck in any NTA News.
At the beginning of every year, individuals and families have expectations for the year which they hope to accomplish. 2025 is no different. In this report, Eugenia Ndubisi feels the pulse of some residents in Benin Metropolis on their expectations from the new year.
Every year, especially at the beginning, most people have so many expectations, including putting plans together to accomplish projects. Sometimes people also carry over to a new year some capital projects. As 2025 begins, people are full of expectations and wish for better year.
We are hoping that this year will improve more than last year, 2024. We know the economy is biting hard, so we pray that the government should listen to Nigerians and make things affordable for Nigerians for the common man to buy in the market and stuff like that.
I'm expecting progress in my life.
What I'm expecting this year for myself, God's gift, blessings and progress in life for me and my family. Also for our state, our country, Nigeria, that it should be well with us. That our leaders should lead us aright.
To some, they wish for abundance of good health, prosperity, and love, noting that man can only achieve desires of his heart when he leans on God.
My great expectation is that God should give us the grace to complete our project we are working on in this year.
No matter the difficulties that may come our way, but when we rely on God Almighty, He knows the way. He will certainly take us through with ease. We also want to say that the only way we can succeed is to allow God to lead us.
As 2025 gradually moves, it is their hope that all their expectations will be fulfilled. In Benin, Eugenia Ndubisi, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja. Ruth, Happy New Year, because we're just seeing for the first time in this new year.
You're right. Happy New Year to you too, Obehi. Good to see you. Right, the State High Court in Abuja, Cross River State, was engulfed in flames on the evening, talking about yesterday evening, January 5th, 2025. Rosemary Oko reports that eyewitnesses in the vicinity promptly alerted relevant authorities, leading to a swift response from various security agencies.
The reason for the inferno at the Cross River State High Court in Abuja is yet to be ascertained. Some eyewitnesses narrate the ordeal and efforts made by relevant agencies.
The fire incident started yesterday around the 3 minutes past 6 p.m. We got here on time and discovered that from the exhibit room behind, the fire was already burning from the inside. We now opened the doors, tried to salvage what we could salvage. Fire spread and then ended up burning down the entire courtroom.
Constrained by lack of necessary equipment to handle situations like this, Ada Enes, staff of Cross River Fire Service, who spoke with NTA News, expressed their helpless response.
Yesterday, we had a distress call about the cause of this fire outbreak. Our men were combat ready and they would make themselves available here to see how they can put off this fire. But because of the constraint, lack of fire engine here, we are unable to combat it.
The judge of the court, Justice Daniel Ofere, while taking stocks of the damage, launched an investigation in the cause of inferno, while other critical stakeholders, including the chairman of Abuja local government, Christopher Agbe, expressed their regrets.
And then occasions like this will require us to make appeal to the government, strengthen the fire service, because when the fire service and the police arrived here, there was still much of the property.
Residents of the locality are appealing to the government to equip the State Fire Service to address inferno and other agencies to meet emergency of any kind. In Abuja local government area of
the less privileged in Benue State have applauded wife of the president, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, for distributing variety of food items to thousands of families across the state through her pet project, the Renewed Hope Initiative. Felicity Ndere reports.
The 3-day food items outreach distribution in Boko, Otukpo and Makurdi, the Benue State capital, underscores the commitment of Nigerian First Lady and National Chairman of Renewed Hope Initiative, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, to the welfare of women, children and vulnerable groups. This initiative is part of a broader strategy by her office to tackle hunger and poverty among underserved populations, aligning with the Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia-led administration's goal of improving the lives of all Benue residents. Some beneficiaries expressed gratitude, stating that the event is timely and will help alleviate hunger.
Sincerely, you can ask the children. We don't know when last we ate some more. This is no jokes. We can't even dare to afford it.
So kola nut, indeed, my people last long in the mouth of those that values it. These people have done well, so they should last long in our mouth.
For the widows, the current administration's response to their plea has been impactful.
I feel very happy and I want to appreciate the government.
My belly full as I see this thing.
It's an administration of love that are about to erase tears from the eyes of the less privileged or those that are downtrodden in the society.
The distribution of food items to orphans, internally displaced persons, widows, and people living with disabilities in Benue State, the people say highlights the commitment of the First Lady of Nigeria in spreading hope, goodwill, and promotion of healthy living among Benue residents. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere, NTA News.
All right, let's stay in Makurdi as we join our correspondent Terna Umar, standing by at one of the internally displaced persons camp. Of course, you're aware that Makurdi harbors a lot of internally displaced persons. Terna, please give us an insight on the long-term plans to relocate some of these displaced persons, if not all of them.
Thank you very much. The humanitarian situation in Benue State is being mitigated by the current administration of Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Alia. Hitherto, before the coming of this administration, there were some camps that were termed as government-designated official camps. But with the coming of Governor Hyacinth Alia on May 29, 2023, he announced that all the camps domiciled in Benue State are officially termed as government-owned camps. And since then, government has been providing food and non-food items to these IDP camps that are situated in 6 local government areas of Benue State, namely Makurdi, Guma, Gwe West, Apa Agatu, and Logo local government area of the state. And also international partners and non-governmental organizations, donor agencies, and good spirited individuals have also complemented the efforts of the Benue State government in mitigating the humanitarian crisis through supporting government with also food and non-food items. Also, some organizations have also lended support in areas of sanitation, water and hygiene, amongst others. On the issue of security, I think the farmers are beginning to go back to their farms to begin their farming activities. Yes, it is true that we still have some pockets of violence in some local government areas, but to a large extent, there have been high presence of security personnel deployed from the Nigerian Army headquarters to Apa Agatu, termed Operation White Stroke, and they have been able to minimize and restore peace and order in those communities within the areas bordering Benue and Nasarawa that hitherto were flashpoints and were emerged in communal crisis and farmers' crisis. And of course, if you go around Apagatu, I think farmers are going back to resume their farm activities. And also in some parts of Guma local government area that borders Nasarawa State, I think normalcy has also returned as some of the internally displaced persons are going back to also carry out their farming activities. That notwithstanding, we still have a large number of internal displaced persons still living within the camps because there is still little apprehension in some parts of their communities for the fear that their lives are not guaranteed. But I believe that the executive governor of Benue State, in collaboration with the federal government and other security agencies, are working round the clock to ensure that normalcy is restored and the internally displaced persons go back to their ancestral homes. And also, before I forgot, the federal government has also brought a...
Turner, I'm sure you have a lot to tell us as regards the immediate humanitarian intervention. But beyond that, I know that those displaced persons want durable solutions so they can go back to their respective communities. Thank you so much, Turner, for joining us. Thank you. And thank you for being part of Nationwide. And we'll call it a day. I'm Ruth Aguilera. Do have a lovely evening. Bye.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the breathtaking scenery of the plateau, in noonday and night, we set out to bring to you stories that evoke your emotions. For fascinating documentaries and reports on day-to-day issues with expert analysis, tune in to NTA News 24, DSTV Channel 419, GoTV Channel 26, StarTimes Channel 101 and 433, and Free TV Channel 703.